Crypto Nation and Mining family, what's going on out there, guys? So we're gonna go ahead and dive right into another episode of Let's Mod the BitX. Yo! So you guys have seen that I have got the ice cooler tower that you use for the Raspberry Pi. I've got a Noctua fan on there. We've got an adapter from Solo Satoshi, and that adapts this onto your single ASIC chip that mounts to the board. Amazing. Keeps cooling. Everything's in check. Everything that I wanted and more. Oh, yeah. I got the big fan onto the back, blowing onto the back of the ASIC board itself. So you would think I have ample cooling. What else could I possibly do to this to make it any better? Remember how I was saying, and wait, there's more, right? So we went to Solo Satoshi. We got the ice cooler with the adapter on there. The BitX we got from our guy, our boy CryptoCloaks.com, and from there he had a link to grab this Noctua back fan cooler, which helps keep all your temperatures in check. Now, for standard overclocking of everything that the software allows, this setup is perfectly fine. But I always like to kind of keep everything a little bit better in check, have a higher thermal headroom. And that's where my boy, Tech Man, so thank you, my man, he came across something that was very good for or it looks like it's very good for your BitX. So we're going to go ahead and kind of dive on into things. So what did our man, Tech Man, come across here? So let's go ahead and bam. So the Solo Mining Company. So the solomining.co, they're located out of the UK, and as you can see, the pricing is in pounds, so it's £5.99, and this is the VREX rear heat sink. Now this little bad boy here goes right onto the heat sink for your VRAM. And where is that located, guys? Go ahead and get my finger near it. Now I will of course give a better viewpoint as everything is taken apart on this. So it's the cooler itself. It's not very big. I mean, as you can see, I did this the other day to you, the other video. I was like, it's on here. I know, it's huge. You see, it's huge. They taped it onto the back of this thing. So let's go ahead and unmask this thing. See what this is all about. So, bam. It's a teeny tiny little CNC machined cooler, and it's got little step-ups in here. Definitely gotta be like for different heights of components so that this thing lays as flat as possible. You don't want this thing to be like lifted up, pulled out of the way. Now, a couple of things that I don't like about this. One, they have no mounting screws that come with this. So they're expecting you to have the screws available to mount this. I would like to see it all included. Granted, I get it for $5. What do you expect? I get it, but I personally would love to see, if I'm mounting something on there, that what I purchased has everything necessary for me to mount this on. So that's, I guess, more of a nitpick than anything else, right? So I always love putting in little things like that, you know, like. And then the other thing, I guess it's a nitpick, right? They require you to put thermal paste down. They could have they could have included good thermal paste to utilize with this. So that's my like two nitpicks more than anything else. Otherwise, we're about to F around and find out on how good this cooler truly is. So let's go ahead and prepare for what I'm going to do here. Oop, wrong. There we go. There we go. So again, as you can see, it's not very big. I mean, my hand for comparison, cooler is not very big whatsoever. So the first thing that we're going to have to do to really get this, we got to get access to the backside of the unit. So I've got to basically disassemble this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to undo our cable management really fast here because it doesn't take that long to undo this stuff. And bam. Got one out of the way here. Got the other one out of the way here. Go ahead and unplug my rear fan here. And I'm going to go ahead and also unplug my front fan. Just so that, just in case I got to take this cooler off, I haven't figured that out quite yet, but this will also make it a little easier for me to get in here with my little screwdriver. Now that I'm not like pushing a wire out of the way too. Go ahead and unscrew this. Guys, this isn't really all that hard to do. I'm just kind of showing you guys what I do and all the modifications that I'm doing to mine. Smash that lizardy like button if you like this stuff. I love modding stuff. I love hot rodding anything I've got. Now I can pull this and put this off to the side now. Now we get the back plate access. So again, this little cooler is going to go right here. So it looks like, oh yeah, look at that. It does cool. It does cover in its entirety all of the controller itself. This is just a coil winding. You don't necessarily need to cool this because it's just coils of copper inside of here. But everything that's around there definitely can be utilized of some cooling. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna dab some. Like I'm seeing how it's going to touch and what it's going to touch here. So, and it kind of just gives me an idea of what components are going to need some thermal compound. Because like I don't have any pads that are going to be thin enough. And I think thermal paste will do the trick here. Whenever you're looking at the website, the rear mounted through hole design made to pair perfectly with the bit axe, perfectly with the bitch and sink on the front. So if you get their heat sink, it'll match up perfectly with that. And then you can bolt through and apply thermal paste between the VREX and the voltage regulator for optimal performance, not included. They do let you know that it's not included, and they do let you know that the cooler is paired up with their version of the cooler, which, of course, would give you the screws that you need to screw this in. So, I mean, granted, I just, like I said, it's a nitpick that I wish that it came with some thermal paste and some screws. But again, that's just nitpicking on my side. Now, because they don't have any provided screws. I've got one screw that I can utilize with it that I've already got on here. So my only other option that I have is standoffs. That's all I got. So I'm going to utilize a standoff to put this together. And it should be enough. We'll find out here in just a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my one screw out of here. Bam. Now I can really see how well this thing is going to fit down onto here. So, oh yeah, look at that. Fits pretty nicely. So I'm going to cover the few things on here, but I want to see really fast. We're going to dry fit this before I do anything else. I want to make sure that my standoffs idea will work. So I was trying to figure out something that would fit next to the adapter that's on here, but I could still clamp. Oh, that works absolutely perfect. Sweet. So that was my trial run. It worked. I'm happy. We're gonna do it. Maybe at another point in time I'll get a actual screw setup that will work on here, but in the meantime I'm gonna get some of my thermal compound out, which I utilize the Hydronaut high performance thermal grease. And yeah, I got a lot. I do a lot of computer stuff, so Thermal Grizzly, Hydronaut, I like this stuff. Works beautifully for me. So we're gonna go ahead and, as they say, a little dab will do you. And none of this is conductive. That's the one thing you want to make sure, is that everything that you're doing is non-conductive. All right. So just going around everything. Now I don't know if the controller, if that cooler will actually ride on that. It looks like it should. We'll find out here if we get a good smoosh pattern. All right. So I got some smushage. Awesome, awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and put screws back in. And I need to get the other one in. But bam, look at that. Would you look at that? Now tighten everything in the way it's supposed to be. Bam. Now hopefully I didn't disturb the paste too much here, and I'm not going to have a chip that's going to get hot on me. Now the other thing that I should have grabbed, which I should have in my little drawer here, at least I thought I did, unless I moved it, which it looks like I did. Way to go. I had a pair of, well, I'll have to do it the most unconventional way, which will be, let me see if I can grip onto it with this, and There we go. Yeah, there we go. I got good smushage. We have good contacts everywhere. Nothing's loose. So let's go ahead and reassemble this real fast. Make sure nothing's interfering on the back here. Oh, that just barely cleared. See the little nub sitting right there? Barely clears the back plate. But it still clears. Clearance is clearance, right? Certainly clearance. All right. Get this thing back to hashing here. Awesome. Hey. All right. That's tight. There we go. Now, hopefully, like I was saying, oops, I dropped the screw and not where it needed to go. Hopefully everything is going to be fine and that I didn't disturb the ASIC chip grease. And that should be just fine. I'm hoping it is. Otherwise, takes 2 seconds to unbolt this and rethermal it. So let's go ahead and replug this in with my nice cable management that I originally had here. That. Plug that in and loop that around like so. I like these cable ties, but at the same time, I don't. Because they stick to itself so quickly and it stops you when you're first initially setting it. Other than that, I love them. There we go. All right. So let's go ahead and cap that up and put that away. Let's go plug this in. See how this thing is hashing along. Let's see with the stock configuration on here, right? How well this thing is actually performing as of right now. Let's see here. Granted, I understand I'm just booting this thing back up. So right off the rip, I can tell you that my voltage regulator temperature is way low. Like that voltage regulator right now is super happy. Super happy. We're now hitting 40C. So let me check back with you guys in a little bit here, and we'll see exactly where the temperatures are after everything is kind of settled in for its final temperature. It has now been about 10 minutes. Take a look at the temperatures on here. So I did put the fans down to default settings here, as you guys can see. And if you're seeing here, the heat down here, it's the ASIC temperature chip is right around 60C, which is right where you want to see the ASIC chip's temperature whenever you've got. Let me refresh this. Whenever you got the automatic fan control feature on, and it's supposed to hold this at 60 degrees Celsius with a minimum fan speed of 25%. And when we look at it here, and you see this after about 10 minutes of this being up and running, our voltage regulator is 9 to 10 degrees cooler than the ASIC chip. They originally were the same temperature, 60 degrees Celsius for the chip, 60 degrees Celsius for the voltage regulator. We now have a 10 Celsius degree split on here, which shows that not only did the VREX cooler from Solo, the Solo Mining Co., but the Hydronaut paste, it works like a absolute champ. So, what does this mean now? What do we do with this BitX now? Well, I have some more stuff ordered up for it. Yep. And wait, there's more. So, I figure that this is like the last thing that I was able to find that you can upgrade your BitX with, though. So this will be a fully pimped out card. And then I'm going to show you guys after that how you can properly void warranties and potentially break your lovely BitX that you have now modded. Yeah, I'll show you how you can, and I'll show you how to prevent yourself from doing that. Yeah. So we're in the final stages of hot rodding this bad unit up. I'm gonna give you guys the secret sauce on how to get the maximum amount of performance out of your BitX. So like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. And with that being said, guys, I'll see you on the next one.